Ladies and gentlemen, we have a special treat for you today. I'm here in New York City in a very quiet office with Wendy Oxenhorn, the Executive Director of Jazz Foundation of America, doing angel work for the jazz musicians here in the States and all over the world. How are you doing today, Wendy?
Oh, tired, but good.
Great. Well, it's great to see you. And you've been real busy lately. Tell us some of the things you've been up to.
Yeah, well, we're preparing for our annual event, the Great Night in Harlem, which features over 50 legends from all over the place, people who've made their mark in the music and given us so much. And what we like to do is, for the people who support the organization, we like to give them back the gift of music from some of the very people who we've helped.
That's beautiful.
And a few celebrities
you have,
who we haven't helped.
Well, you have a wonderful lineup of musicians and two masters of ceremony this year, both friends of ours. And tell the folks who's going to be officiating there.
Well, we have Bill Cosby and Danny Glover, and also Chevy Chase just came through.
Oh, right, Chevy, great.
Which is sweet, but more importantly, the musicians.
Yeah.
We have James Blood Ulmer. We've got Randy Weston, who's going to play the piece he played for Max Roach's funeral. It's really beautiful, called The Healers. We've got Dr. Michael White, who's the last band alive to really keep the music from 1905. The original sounds of jazz. He's the one band that's keeping it going. And they're going to do some great stuff. We've got Dave Brubeck. Nora Jones is sitting in for Hank Jones's 90th birthday.
Nice.
So we're going to call it Me and Mr. Jones.
Well, that's clever. Yeah.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
That sounds great.
We always end with the blues, but go ahead.
So folks who don't know about Jazz Foundation of America, it was created in 1989 and incorporated in 1990, right? And so you want to say a little bit about your mission statement and maybe a couple words about Herb.
Sure. The Jazz Foundation was really started with the idea of just keeping jazz alive, and soon the board found that there were musicians that were having such a hard time just keeping themselves alive, that it was kind of hard to promote the music when there are all these wonderful older people who helped create it.
Household names.
And they're suffering, you know.
Yeah, really.
And someone gets a heart attack, they can't gig anymore. There's no savings in this business. Very few people make it to that level. Most of the people who recorded with Miles and a ton of others, Billie Holiday, we've helped people who, you know, with all these giants. Frank Sinatra had a great 73-year-old man who had gotten pneumonia. He was evicted from his apartment because he was sick for 2 months.
Wow. Couldn't
make his weekly small club gigs. And he ended up living out of his car.
Wow, that's terrible.
So, well, the good news is the Jazz Foundation of America is here. And we were able to get him to a new home. We moved him to a state where the music is a little bit happening a little more, and got him an apartment, and he hasn't called in 3 years to say he needed anything. He's been fine doing some gigs on his own. And
great.
That's what we like to hear.
And instruments, you've been getting some support from a little bit from the instrument companies. So many musicians lost their instruments during Katrina,
yeah,
so that was a big issue.
More importantly,
besides the medical things and the housing, but without their instruments.
That's important too. We gave away $250,000 worth of instruments, thanks to Music and Arts and
fantastic
Yamaha and piano companies. It was wonderful. But more importantly, we have created a $1 million program that has given gigs to the musicians in New Orleans and 8 other states where they've been displaced to. That's really key.
That's great.
Because all anyone wants is a gig, and the best way to make your money is not a handout, but to be able to make your money the way you're used to. So they're giving them to, you know, great free concerts to kids in schools. And it's been very successful.
Super. So you've been doing this as the director for, what, 17 or 18 years now?
No. The organization's been around
Herb Storfer
for 18
was
years. Herb Storfer was one of the people who ran it out of his home. He was one of the originals.
And is Herb still with us?
Herb left this year.
I'm so sorry to hear
he
that.
Left,
He's a great
but
guy.
We still have Ann Ruckert and some of the original members, Phoebe Jacobs, and Dr. Billy Taylor were original people sitting at the table
Wow.
who made
I
this
know
place
Herb had a
happen.
close relationship with a lot of the musicians. He had an heirloom Steinway piano in his apartment that was played by quite a few great pianists,
That's right. When the guys would need help and they'd come over, it's anyone's guess who's played on that. It's
I
amazing.
bet. Wow, that's fantastic. Yeah, so have you been traveling to doing your work for JFA?
Yeah, I've had to go to New Orleans quite a bit. We've done 3,500 emergency assists. That means 3,500 times people have come to us for emergencies, and half of that was New Orleans.
Wow.
It's a lot in 2 years. We went from 500 elderly jazz musicians across the country to, 3,500 cases. So it really is a lot, and that's why I look so tired.
Well, you do tireless work, but you're doing angel work, and there's nothing like the feeling that you get when you are able to put something together that's going to help a musician in need who's brightened up so many people's lives with their music.
Exactly, and that's what I was just going to say, that these are people that worked hard their entire lives, and it's a population of it's a kind of a charity where you're helping people who never needed help, and people who worked so hard their whole lives, and people who made us so happy. I don't know anyone, including myself, who didn't get over a devastating breakup, a divorce, a marriage without the music of these people. The blues got me through. Please,
Yep.
the blues saved my
Music
life.
is our only salvation,
It's true.
Well, you're doing a beautiful thing, and I
Thanks.
want the people to be able to find out more about you and be able to contact your organization. You have a great
great.
website up.
Yes, it's,
And so the address of the website?
it's www.jazzfoundation.org.
All right, great.
So-
Well, we're on KYOU in San Francisco Bay Area and streaming all over the world. So before we get out of here, Wendy, what have you got to say to our listeners on KYOU?
Well, I guess I'm supposed to say thanks for listening. And if you can, always tune in to KYOU and try to make a donation to the Jazz Foundation and help these great musicians.
Right on. Thanks a lot, Wendy.